Hello everyone, and welcome back to Global Spec Racing. We are here at the Autodromo Hermanos Rodriguez in Mexico City, Mexico for the penultimate round of Tier 4 Season 2. As you can probably hear, for once I actually have a co-commentator in the form of the former Tier 4 driver, VaporJS. How you doing, mate?
Good, thanks. Happy to be here. Hopefully we've got a good race on our hands today, and hopefully we can see some good racing, I suppose.
Yeah, most definitely. Of course, we can crown a champion this round. Grosjean, he's got to meet a lot of criteria to get it, but but I know he can. Well, he can most definitely do it. Well, he's definitely shown at the moment. He's well, I was about to say he was quickest, but then Wallace just pips him. But of course at the moment he's actually trying to outscore you, JS. He's got to get on the podium to do that. He's also got to meet a whole load of other criteria. He's got to get 10 points in front of Badders, I should say. He's got to get 4 points in front of... Hang on. 3 points in front of 3 points in front of Sharpey, 2 points in front of Lafrat. And yeah, I think that's it. The Woodsy then goes to the top of the times, 14.5. Of course, we saw how exciting Tier 3 was today. So, well, yesterday. So hopefully then we'll get the same racing quality that we had in Tier 3.
Yeah, hopefully we can get some good racing, but I don't really. I really expect some stand-up performances from some of these guys getting towards the end of the season, and they really need to put the effort in to get these points, and especially for people like Grosjean and Sharpey, they expectations towards the end of the season get higher for these drivers, as Grosjean's just hit the wall on his outlap. I don't know if that was on purpose, but he's just lost his front wing. But
No.
yeah, it's going to be, hopefully we can have a good race, as you said, and let's see how tight it is in qualifying.
Yeah, of course, Sharpey, he had a pretty dominant performance in USA. He just managed to control the pace off the safety car restart, and he put up a whopping 8-second lead in just about 10 laps. So Sharpey then really starting to show his pace towards the end of the season. Of course, to be mathematically in the championship fight going into Brazil, he has got to he's got to stay within 3 points, I think it is, of Grosjean. So if anything, he cannot afford to be outscored by Grosjean, because he's got to make performances like that. He has destroyed the field with that lap.
What a lap from Sharpey.
A whopping
Sorry.
7/10 ahead of the field. Yeah, it's fine. Oh wow, what a lap there from Sharpey. He is showing us why he wants this Tier 4 championship, and that's just proven that he does. Tom Katori then goes across the line to go P3. Very close then between Tom and Woodsy at the moment. Same with Wallace and Grosjean. And Geckerberg's actually not too far behind either. So
Yeah.
these guys are incredibly close at the moment. But at the moment, Grosjean, if things were to stay where they are now in the race, Sharpey would catch right back up to Grosjean in the championship. The gap would only be about, if I can work this out, it's about 24 points at the moment, so the gap would only be down to 9 points. That would make things very interesting going into Brazil.
Yeah, it does. And I'm just watching some laps now. GSR is slightly up on his time. I don't know if he's going to challenge the top 7, because some of them are very tightly matched, and then Sharpey has pulled a massive gap to them. Let's see what Oz comes across the line. He improves, but he stays P8. Yeah, what a lap that was from Sharpey. I have no clue where he got the 38 from. I mean, the new Vapor driver, he has just pulled that out of the park. And I was talking to him earlier, and he was really confident around here. So hopefully he can perform that in the race, and we should have hopefully if some of these guys can get on level of Sharp, hopefully we can have a very good race on our hands. But Sharp at the moment is really dominating this qualifying session.
Absolutely, an incredible 7/10 between Sharpey and Woodsy at the moment. But of course, I know we know Grosjean can go quicker than that. So he's just got to try and improve as Wingo then goes a little bit wide. Of course, though, as we saw yesterday with Fruity, track limits are equally as important around here because Fruity got a podium out of that yesterday. Of course, he didn't quite get into the get within range to make it a three-way fight for tier 3, but still, it was a very impressive performance from Fruity yesterday. And fingers crossed, his fellow Mercedes in the form of Badders and Grosjean. Hopefully we'll see something like that today. As Badders then goes a bit wide coming into the stadium section. Yeah, but these guys, they've got to be really careful with the track limits, especially through the S section.
Yeah, they do. I was a victim of that yesterday in tier 3, going through the track. I got a couple of warnings on my way through there. Practicing that is very tricky, as you pointed out last stream, I'm pretty sure. You really have to nail that part of the track, and it's really difficult to get right most of the time. We saw there, I was just looking at Avalok, who was just on 11th fastest. He had a pretty decent first sector, he lost a load of time in the middle sector. I reckon some of these guys have really put their heads down and tried to practice this middle sector, because this is very important. This is where the time will be gained on the laps.
Yeah, because you've got to get the balance right between flicking the car. The car being able to be this Avalok goes a bit wide. You've got to be able to make the car agile enough to go through that section, but you've also got to have enough traction for the heavy traction zones, because this track has some very heavy traction zones. Oh, let's have a look at penalty. So a couple of them, of course, are turn 5. The stadium section corners, I like to call it, the stadium section hairpin, and out of the double right-hander of 6 and 7, I believe. So yeah, these guys have got to try and find that balance. Otherwise, well, either they'll run wide, causing them to, invalidate in the case of qualifying, and get lots of penalties in the race. But they've also got to be quick through there, as you can gain a ton of time through there.
Yeah, I'm just watching. Just from what you said, Grosjean was going through the middle to last sector, as you were talking about, from like turns, was it 7 to 8? You're on about the time is really. But the issue I found yesterday was the tyre temperatures at the end of the lap on the quali session. So as you can see, Lefrat and Grosjean was quite about 4 tenths down on what Sharp did in the first sector. He messed up his middle sector, but I think some of these guys might be trying to prepare their tyres, because I was struggling with it yesterday.
Snaps.
Yeah.
Oh.
Massive snap.
Yeah, that was a huge snap for that. Karen, what you saying?
I think tyre temperatures on the laps, as we were saying, may play a part, because I found yesterday I had my tyre temperatures all the way to the left in practice, and I tried it in the race, and I was still overheating towards the end of the lap, and it might have been the way I was driving in quali, that I was very aggressive with the wheel. But some of these guys need to just prepare their tyres for the end of the lap. It's like Hungary in a way, where you need to prepare your tyres for the end, because the tyre temperatures could come into play at the end of these qualifying laps.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, of course, Mexico, just like USA, the tires get extremely hot, so we could we could see a few spins here and there, but of course, any of our currently, I think, 4 championship contenders, they cannot afford to spin off. Otherwise, that would be their championship gone. And of course, Grosjean in particular has got to not let that happen, because well, he is the he's the closest both to you in the championship and also to sealing this crown. He could, well, as we said earlier, he could seal this crown, but he must get on the podium in order to do that. And if he was to come third, Badders would then have to come. Hang on, if I can work this out. Badders would then have to come 8th or lower in order to get the title. Well, for Grosjean to get the title, Sharpey would have to come. Hang on. Wait. Oh yeah. Sharpey would then have, well, in order for Grosjean to steal the title, he would have to be P4, because Grosjean, I believe, would get it on countback. I don't know that, but I'll have a look at the wins in a minute. And the Frat would have to be Lafrat if Grosjean was in that. I don't believe Lafrat would be able. Hang on. Lafrat would have to finish ahead of Grosjean, I believe.
Badders is gone. Badders was retired.
I don't think he was going to improve anyway, so that's probably why.
Couple of people behind him. Oz, sorry to cut in there. Oz and Alex invalidated. I don't know if he's going to get his lap in. Lafrat seems to be struggling. I wonder if he can get his lap in.
Yeah. Grosjean's 3/10 up. This is Grosjean could be on the second row of the grid here, coming through the stadium section. Comes the Mercedes. Now out of Mansell corner, as it's known. Out of the final corner comes GSR Grosjean. Now, where is he going to be starting? It's only P6. He actually loses a lot of time throughout that final sector. Sharpey is still improving, so we could almost see like a U-lap here from Sharpey, but he's still got a bit of lap to go. I don't know if actually Grosjean can do another lap.
Oh my word, this is incredible from Sharpey. I cannot believe he is getting these times. In Tier 3 yesterday, he clearly showed it. Oh no, he's invalidated it.
Oh, he runs wide. Gekkerbelg, he's also improving. Matsdy is not. Woodsy then, he's up by about 2/10. Tom Katori then, he's not going to improve, and neither is Grosjean. So Grosjean will be at least 5th on the grid.
Go back
I believe that is our. Well, I mean, ETSR Wallace is still on the lap, as is GSR Oz has invalidated. Wingo's not improving, and Wingo invalidates. Have a look. GSR Thrasher's improving as well, but he goes really wide through the and he invalidates. Morgan then's about a quarter of a second up. Gekkerbelg does not improve, and neither does Woodsy. So I believe that's our grid then. Yeah, because Wallace invalidated. He would have got ahead of Grosjean. So then ETSR Sharpey then with a great lap to secure pole here in Mexico ahead of Gekkerbelg. Actually a very good performance in P2. Madsty then 2000 is in P3 ahead of Woodsy Meister in P4. Then Tom Katori takes P5 ahead of our championship leader GSR Grosjean in P6. 7th is ETSR Wallace. 8th is Lafrat. 9th is EXR Athlete. Badders is only 10th. 11th is GSR Oz. 12th is Bang Your Dead. 13th is Wingo. 14th is Have a Look. 15th is ETSR Morgan. Then rounding off our grid is GSR Thrasher.
Now I'm just looking at the guys below Oz and below. These guys are going to be able to start on the mediums, and we saw like yesterday in Tier 3 that really worked for people like Broken Reptile, some other people behind. Sharpey did mediums and then went on to hards. I did the same. So people who were down there like Oz, Bangy Dead, Wingo, they've still got a chance of doing well in this race because these guys all get the free choice, as I said. Oh, and Bangy Dead's got a 5th place, and so does 5 position down, so does Avalok. So that's going to promote Thrasher and Morgan, and that's also going to promote Wingo up a place. So that's going to be better for those guys, but Bangy Dead and Avalok are going to be standing at the back, it looks like. So yeah, it's not going to be great for them, but hopefully we can get some good racing and see what the strategies are like.
Give me a minute. Alright then.